Which one of us is stronger in this position? I am, right? If we're here, now he's stronger, right? Like just the position, like, I don't know, maybe he's stronger than me physically, but like, just in the position, if I'm here, I'm gonna be stronger. And the farther that your hands and your arms move away from your torso, generally the weaker that you are. So I want to combine those two concepts of like, I want to be strong where he's not strong, and I want to isolate his shoulder in a way that there's not a lot of flexibility in his shoulder. Is everybody tracking with what I'm saying so far? Okay. What I want to do here is, I'm going to pin his arm to my chest here, right? And then the way that I bring his elbow up above his shoulder is I start extending this direction. And you can feel it's already getting tight, right? So like down here, there's a ton of room for me to Kimura. But the higher I bring his elbow up, the less, and he already wants to tap, okay? So what I do is I use my body for that. I don't use my arms. The way that works is I bring my chest to his arm, here. And then I'll use my body to move his elbow away, okay? And then I'll increase this by turning all the way to my back. And then I'll increase it more by turning to my other shoulder, and he'll tap, right? So, you doing all right? Okay. I'm gonna start out by bringing my chest to his arm. And I'm gonna fall back to my side. And as I go to my back, I'm bringing his elbow up, and I'll turn to my other side and he'll be ready to tap right now. And I know you guys can't feel this yet, but I'm barely putting anything with my hands at all. This is just me moving my torso. We're gonna do the same thing. I just wanna like point out a couple of things one more time. What I wanna do is reach up and put the elbow on my chest and then use my body to extend it, okay? So just one more time. I'm gonna reach up, I put my chest right to his elbow, okay? And I'll reach over and I just pin it to my chest. So like this relationship doesn't change for the rest of the move. I just want to keep this real tight here, okay? And then what I'll do is I'll come back, and then as I turn, and I'm gonna turn this way, as I'm extending his elbow up. But I'm not looking to push. I'm not looking to do this. I want to do that with my body. Okay? Thanks. Does that make sense to everybody? So let's give that a try a few more times, then we'll come back and move on to the next thing. Okay, on 3. 1, 2. Hey, bring it in, please. So I had a question like, I see you moving from side to side, but I'm not really sure how you're getting there. So I just want to talk about what I do with my hips real quick. We'll get a couple more reps and we'll do the next move, okay? So, just without even securing the Kimura, I'm here. I'm going to open my legs and I point my feet in the same direction. And then I just change the way my feet are pointed without my butt being on the ground. And you see how it turns my hips over? So, let's face it. So I'm in close guard. I'll get the Kimura. My feet are pointing the same direction. I'll lift up, turn my feet. It turns my hips. Okay. Once I get into position, I can lower my hips back in. But that's the mechanism I use for getting into clicks. So I'm here. Feet are pointed, which helps me extend also. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Any questions about that? Okay, let's get a couple reps in that and then we'll do an entry, okay? On 3. 1, 2. How many of you guys are familiar with the hip bump sweep? Most. Okay. What I want to do for the hip bump sweep, let me just do it one time and I'll talk about it. So what I'm looking to do is I'll get up on my elbow and I'm going to drive my hip into his chest. And then as I get him going back, I'll cup his triceps and I'll just turn it. okay? The way that works in practice is he just won't let me do that, right? He wouldn't let me do that, right? So what I do is I'll grab his head and he'll want to posture up, and I'll follow him as he postures up, okay? And then I check. Because for this to work, I need him to be postured up. If, don't posture up this time, okay? So if he's just down, right? And I go, it's not gonna work. I need his posture to be up for this, right? So I'll just grab his head. He'll start to posture up. He's doing this, right? I just go with him. On my elbow, my hip drives into his chest, and then I turn. That makes sense? I know, like, some of you guys may have missed the Kimura in there, but it's because I haven't done it yet. We're gonna do that next. But let's get a couple reps on this, and then we'll do the Kimura next, okay? Does that make sense? Any questions? So, a normal, very common defense to a hip bump sweep is just to drive right back into it, right? So hip bump sweep me, please. And just do this. Like, that's the move, generally, right? Like, I'll hug a guy. I'll do it one more time. That's the most normal way that I've seen to stop that, okay? So when I go, he hugs me, I grab his arm, and I'm gonna fall right back into that Kimura. That's how I get his arm. That makes sense? Sometimes, as I'm setting up the Kimura, or if I'm looking for a Kimura, when I get up on my elbow, I'll actually grab his wrist, okay? So I'm like, in preparation for the joint lock before I do the sweep. The way it looks is, I'm here, I already have it. And then I go into that Kimura, okay? When you're using one move to set up another move, if your feint isn't real, or if my first attempt isn't real, it won't create the proper reaction. You guys track on what I'm saying? So if I half-ass my hip bump sweep, he doesn't need to do the defense, because I won't get him anyways. So the only way I get him to hug me is to go full send on the hip bump sweep. I go full send, he counters, and then I know his arm, right where his arm's going to be. You guys tracking with what I'm saying? So, go light once or twice, and then just start going a little bit, progressive a little bit harder. For the hip bump sweep, not for the shoulder block, okay? Because I don't want to let anybody get hurt. Any questions about what we're doing? Actually, my favorite way of getting into Kimura is actually from half guard. So I'm going to show you that. There's a lot of different versions of half guard, and like in the last 10 years, there's a new name for every different position. So there's 4 or 5 names for every position. So I'm going to tell you what I call it, but this is a niche of half guard. So I want my knee in his sternum for this, okay? In a gi, I think it's even easier than no gi, because I can pull him into my knee. So I have this like push with my knee, and this pull with my hand. No gi looks like this, okay? What I want to do is, I'm going to have like a push-pull tension here, but I'm not like trying to drive my knee through his sternum or anything like that. And what I'm going to do is grab his wrist, and then I'm going to kick my leg out. In the process of kicking my leg out, I'm going to drive him to the side this way. So it looks like this. I want him to follow his shoulder here. And then I'll go to his arm. The Kimura is the same. I go to my back, and I start to turn. The whole time I'm bringing his elbow up the whole time. Okay? just go ahead and do the defense. If I can swim my shoulder over his elbow, my forearm over his elbow, and I'll use my foot to push back, it's not impossible for him to defend, but it's so much harder for him to defend. So there's two components. One is I'm here and I'm just swimming my forearm over his elbow. Like he's been a good partner for me. He's like letting me get this. But usually what happens, go ahead and hook your leg. He'll start immediately posturing back. This is next, right? Anybody who like has grappled for any time, like they'll start posturing up, that's next. So I need to deal with both. I need to deal with grip and the posture. That's where the elbow comes in. Go ahead and posture out. Okay? Don't forget about your feet. Like I gotta plant my feet on the ground, and I'm gonna use that to move me. Not like before where I was just using my hips. Use my feet to drive me up. And I'm gonna move my forearm over his elbow. Okay, I'm here. I can't get it. I'll hip escape. I'll get my foot in. I like to load up, and then I'm gonna just lift him and turn. Almost always, someone pushes your knee flat if they're getting knee time, right? So as he pushes it, I'm gonna grab the wrist, and I'll just let him continue. And then I'll come to it, right? Now, it's rare, but some folks will just stay there and let you Kimura them. Like, purple belts won't let you Kimura them from there. What would you do? You could start with the knee cut pass if you want, right? Like I'll be here, and I can pass either knee, grab my more. I continue to pass. I know I'm in danger, I'll just shoulder roll. Okay? So I just want to start with that. There's a few different options right now. I'll try to get it in that place. The easiest one that I'm aware of is I'm going to put my weight on the shoulder. Now listen to the word of it. It's fast, it's easy. I just center my weight on the shoulder. The heel of this foot comes to my chest. That's the next one. Right there is where it's mine. And just drag your heels under my mountain. Now you have me isolated. Right? This is a crucifix. Yeah. Okay. Let's reset. We'll do the other one. Is right back on the back. So you have that. This time I start this time I start to come up.
Oh yeah, and that's
straighten this into my chest.
Straighten.
Yes, and now I can't get up. Now your left knee will go under my ribs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
That one comes over, and then you just peel me back this way.
It hurts to know. I'll get it from there.
That's right. And then like this one's coming across, that one go over this one. Yep. Position. So again, I'm here, and he'll drive up into me. This hand will go to his hand here. So now I have this grip, and then I ball up so I can get it taller, and then I'll turn back to my side. I can extend, or I can drive his head over the toe. Either one is fine. This grip is pretty important now. I was here, got his watch, got mine. I'll just go down to his fingers, and then I'll grab the pad of his hand here. Now I can control that Kimura grip with one hand, which I think. He goes to come up to the thing, I stop him, I push him in his chest. When he comes in, I'm going to go over the shoulder, I open up my hips and turn them around this way. My leg comes across. I grab my shin, come up with my elbow. This foot helps me push back, tightening that choke, or whatever. I can't get my triangle signed for whatever reason. What I can do is I'm gonna pin his elbow to my hip, and I'm gonna pin this across my torso, and then I just drive up into him for a shoulder lead. Okay, it's almost like an Americana here. I just drive this elbow into my hip, and this one is just kind of an angle across, and then I just drive my hips up into him. You know, like, it seems like jiu-jitsu, whatever the first way we learn the move, we think that's the right way to do the move. So, someone shows me a new arm on the ground, and I learned it a different way. So, I think it's good to close up with it. Probably all you guys have done Kimura is maybe we haven't seen it in this recently. There's like a million different iterations of move sweeps entering this jiu-jitsu. So like exposing yourself to more of it, I think of it like adding more tools to your toolkit.